G'day Gooners and welcome to I was going to say the post-match pod, but this is like a World Cup pod, isn't it, Gal?
Yeah. Yeah. World
Yeah.
Cup's on at the moment. It's really good. I know that you're very happy at the moment. Obviously, England with a really good result. How are you feeling about that game? Surely you're over the moon with it.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. When it comes to tournament football, the performance doesn't really matter as long as you get the right result. And we were on the right end of a, a pretty average performance, especially in the first half. I thought we were obviously performing against a low block. I thought Norway defended really, really well. I thought they counter-attacked with speed. Martin Odegaard was at the centre of everything good that came from them. And obviously they went ahead early. Unbelievable goal. Don't know if it was a cross or a shot, but
Yeah.
a really, really good finish. The young lad came in for Nusa. So yeah, obviously big decision from the coach, but he came in, scored a great goal. I thought Nusa actually did well when he came on, but besides the point, they went in 1-0. And then just before half time, Sir Jude Bellingham steps up like he has done every single game in this tournament so far. And yeah, what a goal it was. Really, really good pass from Anthony Gordon. Thought apart from that, Gordon was pretty average as he has been for the majority of the tournament, with the Mexico game as an exception. Um, but yeah, no, obviously not after 90 minutes, ended 1-1 all. At that point, I was not very confident, to be honest
No,
with you.
were you nervous though? How were the nerves at that point?
Honestly, I'm not that nervous when England play. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm definitely more of an Arsenal fan than I am an England fan when it comes to international football. Like, for me growing up, England was filled with anything but Arsenal players. It was mostly Spurs players. Dele Alli, Eric Dyer, Trippier, Kyle Walker, Danny Rose, obviously Harry Kane, and so like my love for England has only started to really grow since more Arsenal players have come into the fold. But obviously, we had Martin Odegaard playing for Norway, and there's been so much stick that he's received, even though he's only started, 15, 16 Premier League games this season because he's been injured
Crazy.
for the
Yeah.
majority of it. And fans like want him out and they don't want him to be captain. And, the way I'm looking at it is, you know, he's got Arsenal, led Arsenal to their first Premier League in 22 years. In the same season that he's led Arsenal to their first Champions League final in 20 years, in the same season that he's led his country to the furthest they've ever got in a
Yeah.
World Cup in their history.
It's not a
So
coincidence,
there
right?
is
It's
it
clear
can't it
that
can't be a coincidence. It can't
I
be a
think a
coincidence.
main criticism he gets is that he doesn't show the leadership on the field, whereas like a Rice or a Gabriel, that's what people compare him to. But I see it. I see him. He dictates the play. He controls that whole field. Whenever I see him play, you can see what he's trying to do. I think honestly, it sounds a little bit like we've got a bit of like a football ego. But like, if you don't understand Martin Odegaard as a leader, I don't. I question your ability to understand the game of football. The way you see, we see it week in, week out. I think that's the thing that people don't see. They don't see those little things like leading the press and stuff like that. For Norway as well, I think it's being highlighted a lot more. Obviously, it's the world stage. More people are watching that. And
Hmm.
of course, he's got a world-class striker in front of him. Maybe that's something that Arsenal needed to get the even better out of him. Either way, there's no doubt about his ability, and he's just been really unfortunate with injuries.
100%. And I just think leaders come now in 2026 in all shapes and sizes. They're not the typical, the John Terrys, the big tacklers, the passion, the Roy Keanes.
Yeah,
That's not what leadership looks like. And if one of the best elite coaches in world football, Mikel Arteta, is going to pick him as your captain, as well as the whole squad voting for him, as well as him being the captain of his international team from a very, very young age, then who are we as fans to say any other, to say otherwise, to say that he's not a good leader? Obviously, he's a good leader. Otherwise, he wouldn't be platformed in leadership positions across the board in every team that he plays in. It doesn't make sense.
yeah,
And for those
exactly.
teams to be successful as well,
Yeah.
like it just doesn't make sense. Now, besides the point, going back to the game itself, we get to extra time, and whilst I'm not necessarily feeling nervous, like I am sort of anticipating that there will be a winner, and the man Jude Bellingham steps up again, right on cue.
He's
I mean,
ridiculously good at the moment. Like he is one of those players that just steps up when you need him. Like we've been crying out for a player like that at Arsenal, someone that's just going to take the game by the absolute scruff of the neck. I know that you were a big advocate of a player like that for Arsenal. You just need that in every team, and Bellingham is that guy. Another two goals. It's actually incredible to watch. Like when I watch him play, obviously I don't watch too much Real Madrid week in, week out. So the only times I really got to see him play was obviously against us and then a few England games as well. Hey, he's incredible.
He is. He really is a world class footballer. But it's not just his goals. It's everything. It's
Yeah,
the tackles. He is
tackles.
just
Yeah,
an he's just an all round. Like he even you hear him after the game talking about how like Tuchel basically came out and said he didn't think they played well, and he comes out and says, "Well, yeah, I don't think Tuchel probably understands how hard it is to play against a team like Norway." And you know, it's the bite that you need to really be a top level footballer, and he just has it. And you know, he's still pretty young. He's what in his mid 20s. It's
I think
incredible.
he's
It's
even younger than
incredible.
that. It's actually ridiculous how young he is. I think he's still only like 22 years old. Which when I saw that, I was like, "What am I doing with my life?" Like that's actually just ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
22 years
yeah.
old, two-time World Cup player, and two-time Euros as well. He's gone to the final of
Hmm.
the Euros, of course, in his first tournament. They got to you guys went out in the quarters of the 2022. Regardless, either way, he's always been a mainstay in that team since very young, and you're still going to see another 10, maybe 15 years out of him. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And yeah, he'll probably go on to captain this side. I mean, obviously
Sure.
Declan Rice, it looks like could be the next one, but he's definitely displaying leadership qualities. And I mean, bold from Tuchel at halftime, you know, taking off Declan Rice at halftime, who clearly doesn't look right. I think he was ill at the same time as
Yeah.
obviously having something going on with his neural pathways, which is obviously pretty concerning as an Arsenal fan. But he got taken off. Obviously, Madueke got taken off at halftime, and two Arsenal players replaced
Yeah.
them in Eze and Saka. Thought Saka, whilst majority of the game was quite quiet, had moments and glimpses of absolute class. Eze was pretty quiet, but you know the assist for the Bellingham second goal came from potential Arsenal signing in Morgan Rogers, and
Yeah.
that exact thing of you know, taking the ball in the half turn, avoiding pressure, and really stamping his authority on the game. I thought he did quite well, but the goal came from a long shot, which is something that Arsenal aren't necessarily known for. So another skill set. When Arteta is now approaching the transfer window, I think he's really looking at certain skill sets that we don't have that he wants to sort of get from a signing. And I think definitely one is when the games are stale and there's a low block and we can't break them down, finding different ways to score a goal. And one of those ways is through a shot from distance. And Morgan Rogers, there's not many better than
Yeah.
him at that. And
We've seen him
that's where
score
the goal
bangers
came.
last season as well. Like he's that type of player that pretty sure there was all that chat about Aston Villa's XG and how they outperformed that. And that was a large part of that was Morgan Rogers just taking those pot shots. And that's it's something you need to do. Like it's actually a very basic part of the game. Like we both played football growing up, and what were we told? Obviously, we're both attacking players. Like test the keeper, take shots.
Yeah.
They're gonna fumble
My,
it. Like they could
my,
fumble it.
my
You know what I
dad
mean?
my dad listens to this. Cal will say that, yeah, I was told that many times, but I didn't shoot very often.
Yeah, I'm
Should
a
have
bit of
scored
culprit
far
of
more
that
goals.
myself, but like, it is the right thing though to do. Sometimes, obviously, you don't want to be stupid with it, like that Thomas Partey show against Southampton. But there's the right times to do that, and I think adding that profile, I think Eze can do that and is capable of that. Rice can be capable of that. Sometimes he doesn't seem to do it as often as he used to. But I think bringing in a play like Morgan Rogers, whereas I didn't at first I didn't fully understand that option. I thought it was like quite similar. We said this last podcast, but quite similar to Eze in terms of like position profile, where
Yeah.
he's not a left winger. Where does he actually play? Like, how would he fit in this Arsenal team? To be honest, I still can't see where he'd play in this team. Like, we've got Eze, we've got Odegaard, we've got Dalman coming through, we've still got Wanyeri there. I can't see where he come through, but it's always so good to have a player like that on the books. I would not complain if we got him.
100%, 100%. And it's not our job to, you know, see where they're going to
Exactly.
play.
Yeah.
That's why there's people who are paid millions of pounds every single year to do that. But yeah, having a player of his quality is definitely not going to hurt us. And in terms of England, yeah, we got the positive result and we go through to a semi-final. Now our opponents obviously had a bit of a performance of their own.
Yep.
and when I say performance, I thought Switzerland were unbelievable on the day.
Mm.
Granit Xhaka obviously leading Switzerland as he has done
Oh,
for many
yeah,
years.
class.
But in these moments, it's in these big games, it's moments that really separate winning and losing. And Julian Alvarez, who hasn't really had
Oh,
a great
mate.
tournament so far, picks one out of the very, very top drawer. And again, that's another guy that we're linked with. And I saw a tweet from Miguel Delaney, who's a pretty respectable journalist, coming out and saying that PSG want to keep Barcola, so that will stop them from going in for Alvarez. Obviously, Atletico don't want to sell to Real Madrid or Barcelona. They've made that very, very clear.
Yeah.
So that sort of means a pathway to come to Arsenal. It could be open, and it wouldn't shock me if they are still monitoring that situation. And if a market opportunity does present itself, I reckon they'll try and go and get him because he's just world class. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited, man. It's semi-final Thursday morning for us here in Australia, 5 a.m. kickoff, I believe.
Yep.
Um,
That's right.
we're probably favourites going into it, even though we are playing against the current world champions. But anything can happen, especially with Lionel
Yep.
Messi on the pitch. I thought Switzerland marshalled him pretty well the whole game, but he obviously still had moments where he'd just go past players like they're not even there and find passes that others wouldn't find. So we're going to have to marshal him. But it's a win-win. If England go out, then obviously pretty upsetting as an Englishman. But if Messi goes on to another final, then obviously you want him to go and win it. So yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22, but obviously my heart is with England. I hope they go and win. And yeah, am I confident? Not really, but we'll have to
Oh,
wait
mate,
and see.
honestly, from a neutral perspective, I think you guys will dominate Argentina. I think you're a lot stronger than them. I've said publicly many times, I'm still not convinced by this Argentina team. I know they're getting the job done, but they're just not convincing me. Like 3-2 against Cape Verde, they scrape through against Egypt. On another day, they don't get through against Egypt. And on another day, I mean, that red card changed the game for Switzerland as well. That was a ridiculous dive. I don't know what he's doing.
Ridiculous, so silly. And
I don't know why he's done that, but
it's shit. That's the rules, but that's the rules. So he
yeah.
had to get sent off.
I think he probably forgot that they can check second yellows now. Surely he must have. But either way, I think that changed the game. But Argentina go through, and mate, I think you guys will beat them like quite comfortably. You won't score too many. I think for me, you guys will win that. I was going to say 2-0, but I think Messi will just pop up with the moment. So I'm going to say 2-1 England.
Okay. I'm gonna go 1-1 extra time. England win 2-1 as well.
Nice. Who's going to score the winner, you reckon?
I reckon the winner will be scored by. Can't really vote against Jude Bellingham in a minute. I'm going to go
Yeah,
Jude
I know.
Bellingham.
I could just see it like a massive moment from Bellingham again, or a Kane goal, I guess. But Bellingham will be, I think he'll be big reason why I think you guys will win. I think he'll dictate that pitch for sure. I think your midfield is too strong. It does depend on Declan Rice, though. Will he be fit? Either way, I think Anderson, very, very class player, of course. I mean, he's just signed for Man City, obviously. So it just depends on if Declan Rice is fit, how much of the game can he play, how good will he be in the game? Is he still sick, still injured? Who knows? But I think you guys will go through to the final, which at that point, I hope you guys do win, honestly. It will be class to see. Another reason as well, I don't want to see another France-Argentina final. I want to see something new. I want to see something fresh. I think England, I mean, you guys haven't been in a final, since probably 1966, right? Have you guys been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
So, I
about
mean,
right.
it'd be
Sounds about
class to
right.
see a new team. I think a France versus England final would be class. Again, Spain versus England. It's just a repeat of the Euros final. But I think France versus England is like the ultimate matchup at the moment. But yeah, best of luck to England. But moving on to the other semi-final, France versus Spain. That is a massive matchup. This was actually the final. When I did my World Cup predictions, this is the grand final that I got. I know the grand final is such a non-football term, but
Australian term.
yeah. But this is the one that I predicted. Obviously, now it's now a semi-final. I just can't see a world where France don't win, to be honest.
Too dominant. They're just too. Their squad's
Yeah.
too good. Um, yeah, their big players are performing. Mbappe's Mbappe. Saliba's been incredible at the back. It's yeah. I don't see them not winning either. I mean, but with Mikel Merino, involved. You
Yeah.
just never know what's going to happen. Two late goals in his last two games for Spain, and it's really proving that we missed him at the end of last season when he was injured for so long. But it'll be good to have him back for pre-season. But yeah, I think France will win convincingly. I think it'll be 3-1 win for France.
Yep. I probably agree with that scoreline, to be honest. I think although Spain are very good at just shutting teams out, holding possession, locking down the ball, especially Rodri in that midfield, although Zubmendi should be starting. No, I'm kidding. Rodri's actually been really good, to be fair. But I think the firepower of France will just be too much for Spain. Spain haven't really been like tested this World Cup properly.
Yeah,
Obviously, the game against Portugal, we all thought that might happen, but Portugal just they weren't fluid enough. They didn't create enough chances. But it'll be really interesting to see how Spain handle a team that's just going to be at them the whole time. It's going to be interesting to see if they can block them out. But I just think Mbappe is just too. He's just on a different planet. In my opinion,
yeah.
I think he is the best World Cup player of all time.
Wow, that's a pretty big shout.
Especially if they win this World Cup, especially that'll cement it for me, 100%.
I mean, to think he's on like almost level goals or level goals with Messi, and he's very young still. It's outrageous. It really is. He's a top player, and it's not just him. The Desiree Doué, Barcola, Ousmane
Yeah,
Dembele,
exactly.
and Rayan Cherki is hardly getting on and getting minutes. So it's like that's how good the squad is.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, they're a really really serious outfit, and yeah, I expect them 100% to go through. Um, and yeah, whoever they end up facing in the final is going to be a tough game for whoever faces them. But I hope it is us in England.
yeah.
I mean, as we were recording this, I've just got the notification that Yuri Tillemans to Manchester United. Here we go. Now that's come
Oh,
out. Yeah, that's come
interesting.
out of a bit of surprise. I think it's a great
Breaking
signing from
news.
them.
That is a good signing.
Yeah,
Yeah, to be fair.
41 million euro release clause, which is, I think, a great piece of business for Man United, considering they were going for Anderson
Yeah,
of Atalanta, but that deal
Andre
fell
Andre
through.
Santos, I
Um,
think as well.
yeah, they've gone and got Andre Santos from
Yeah,
Chelsea for 50 million pounds or whatever they've
that's
decided to pay
crazy.
for him.
Yeah,
And now Yuri Tillemans. So I think that is a top level signing. Yuri Tillemans, Andre Santos to go alongside Kobe Mainu, replacing obviously Casemiro, who's old and looks like he's into Miami bound.
yeah,
Really good signing for them. It seems like it is the summer of midfielders.
yeah,
Us being linked with Bruno Guimaraes,
yeah,
Tonali and Fernandez going to Spurs. You've got who else? I mean, Anderson going to Manchester City. It is the summer of
yeah.
midfielders. I'm sure
Just
Ayoub Bouadi is going to leave Lille probably
yeah,
this season as
interesting.
well. So there's a lot
Yeah,
going on, man. There's a lot going on in the
yeah.
transfer market.
Just
Hey,
on just on Bruno G, I heard something really interesting today that I really like the sound of. When I first heard Bruno G, obviously it's going to be an amazing signing. I think he's agreed personal terms already, but I was listening to a podcast today and they were saying that if he's paired up with Declan Rice, is actually the perfect combination because apparently Declan Rice's three worst qualities are actually Bruno G's three best qualities. So it actually evens out perfectly. So that's going to be amazing to see that sort of link up. And it's going to be really good to have Zubmendi and Rice both be able to actually finally have a rest. Obviously, Lewis
yeah,
Skelly and Mikel Merino as well. I think I keep forgetting about him, honestly. He's such a I'm saying it like I've made a TikTok about it, but Marino is the strangest player potentially all time. Like, what does he do? What's his position? Where does he even play? Like, it's so confusing, but he's such a good player to have in the team. And having a quartet of that midfield and potentially maybe Buadi on top, I'm not sure if we'll still go for him if we're getting Bruno G. I
nah,
don't think so. But having those, I'm really confident about us controlling games next season, having more quality. And maybe if Morgan Rogers comes in as well, that X factor, it's going to be really exciting either way.
100%. And like for me, we never really replaced Granit Xhaka in terms of
Yeah,
what Granit actually brought in terms of the drive, the weight of pass, the ball speed. Honestly, like he used to fling passes in, and I think it made a difference in our tempo. And Bruno G is that, and not only that, he's obviously as tenacious as Xhaka. Obviously, being right-footed instead of left-footed, he might give a balance uh, to an Odegaard and a Rice playing as a six, and it might take off a little bit of the running pressure that Rice has had to do in previous seasons, especially when he's played as a number eight. But yeah, no, really, really exciting. And going back to Mikel Merino, you think that the amount of goals that we're probably going to lose in Leandro Trossard leaving, and it
Yep.
looks like it's all but done. Him obviously heading away, but Mikel Merino comes in clutch with goals, and so that type of finisher who can just you can bring him on for 10 minutes and there's always a chance that he'll score. That to me is like more than enough sort of proof that that's the type of player that we need in our squad,
Yep.
especially with Trossard leaving. So, yeah, no, that's what Mikel Merino does for me. He does the hardest thing in the world when it comes to football to do, which is to put the ball in the back of the net when your team need it. So
Yep.
that's what he does, and he might not be the most, I don't know, interesting on the eye, and he might not be quick or necessarily strong or have one quality that's like,
That's what I'm
wow, that's
saying.
what
He's
he's known
so
for.
confusing, right? But that's what you need. Sometimes you need a player like that that's just unpredictable. Obviously, you don't want
100%.
you don't want the other team to be able to figure out what he's going to do, you know? And I think that also leads me to say that sorry, how do I phrase this? The thing I love about these new signings that we're going for is it's clear that Arteta has a vision, or Berto, I guess, as well, that we're aiming for specific, like, one percenters in the game. With Morgan Rogers, we've got that X factor of long shots where we don't really have anyone that can do that. Bruno G, obviously, he has the traits that Declan Rice doesn't, and we've been missing a player like that since you said Xhaka, of course. Then we need to bring in a left winger as well, someone explosive and maybe an X factor on that wing as well, someone that's just going to beat his man one on one, but they can also do the other side of the game as well, finishing, crossing, the end product. So I think having all these different types of players for all different game scenarios is absolutely class. Obviously, we saw last year we had Gyökeres and Havertz, although they were injured for different parts of the season. Gyökeres is that brute force, he's just going to run, whereas Havertz can hold up play, and obviously Jesus as well, a little bit of flair. But I think having all these different types of players, I'm really confident going into next season that no matter the game state, we can just get the job done.
100%, 100%. And that's why the importance, and we said it on the last board, of Arteta getting his first choice.
Yeah.
He's now earned the reputation of getting us over the line without his first choice. And it's funny you should say that. I was actually speaking to head of football at South Melbourne today. Just
Sick.
coincidentally, met him whilst I was working, and good guy, Peter. So if you're listening to this, Peter, you're a great man, and I'll definitely be coming to watch South Melbourne at some point during the season. But he was saying that in terms of recruitment, like, people don't understand that, like, obviously the manager has the first options and the targets that he wants, and the business is cutthroat. Sometimes you're not able to do that, and then you won't get the first option. Sometimes you won't even get the second option, and then the manager is just expected to perform, and they're never going to say out in public, this wasn't my first or second option. They have to
Yeah.
treat the signing like it is their first option and give them all the confidence that they need, whilst simultaneously not having the tools that you actually asked for. But sometimes in the recruitment side of things, it's definitely not that easy. But simultaneously for the coach, it's like, well, the coach will get sacked if they don't perform, right?
Yeah.
So I think for Arteta to really get over the line, which he has done with not necessarily his first choice signings, especially in the front line. Like, as I said, if you'd asked him on deadline day to accept, or if Sterling was his first choice of left winger, obviously the answer is no. He wanted Nico Williams, and we couldn't get him, and then we ended up with Sterling. The answer would obviously be that wasn't his first choice. And the same, I think, goes for Noni Madueke last season. And the same, I think, goes for Gyökeres, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think, Isak was the first choice, and Sesko was a choice. Alvarez, we've always loved the player. But Gyökeres was on the market, and we managed to get him. And those players got us across the line, which is awesome. But this season, I want him to get his number one choices. And if he does that, I have every single confidence in my bones that we will go and win back-to-back league titles, and I think we'll go and win the Champions League too. So I'm really intrigued to see. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what this summer brings, and with the shockingly incredible start in Ilan Meslier being the first signing of the window. Yeah,
Hey,
no, I
let's
can't.
let's be positive about this. I gotta say right now, because people were hating this too much. Like, let's just all calm down about this, right? He's not that bad. People,
No, I
the main
agree. I agree.
the main thing that people, I know you're not one of those sort of people that are negative like that, but I've seen a lot of people. They're like, oh, he's lost so much confidence. But like, mate, you've just like he's just signed for the biggest club in England right now, the Premier League champions. He thought his career was done. He's playing. He's 26 years old. He was playing under 21s at Leeds. Like his confident. His head is on Mars right now. He's loving it. So obviously he's not
100%.
going to play that much anyway. So if he can bring a good vibe, then I got no problems with it.
Oh, and for sure. And working with David Raya every day is only
Of
going to
course,
make
yeah,
him a better
exactly.
keeper. And there is, I've got a few friends here in Melbourne who are big Leeds fans,
Yeah,
and they said to me there is definitely a keeper there. And I think if we're targeting him as the choice to deputy David Raya, then we've obviously seen something. And Iñaki Kanya, the goalkeeping coach, has obviously seen something in him. And he's notoriously pretty good with his feet, but obviously susceptible to a mistake, as all goalkeepers
Can
are.
I
But
say? Can I
we
say
don't.
as well on the topic of profile? Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah,
he,
yeah, you're
he's
good.
he's six he's 6'7". We've never really. When was the last time we had a keeper that was that big? David Ray is quite on the shorter side of keepers. I'm not quite sure about Tommy Seppard. Kepa, I don't believe is super tall, but like 6'7", he's easily the tallest player. He might be the tallest Arsenal player of all time, right? But there's just another profile there if we need it, I guess.
I didn't even know he was 6'7". So there you
He's
go.
massive, mate. He's huge.
Because he doesn't look massive when he
Yeah,
plays, which
no,
is
he's just
strange. But
skinny. Let me actually just fact check that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 197 centimeters, which I think might be 6 or 7, but almost 2 meters tall.
translate that right now, because I don't think that
Oh
is
no,
six
here we
foot
go.
seven.
I'm gonna get caught out here. Height. Yeah, 6'7". Well, this one says he's actually 201 centimeters, so it's
There you
about
go.
2 meters. So yeah, that's just another
Big
option
guy,
right there.
big guy.
Maybe Arteta's cooking something last minute header. You never know.
No, he'll be good. He's good with his feet, from what I
Yeah,
recall seeing him play. And if he's facing less shots than he would have done at Leeds, he's going to be less susceptible to
yeah.
a mistake, we hope. But you got to trust him. And to be honest, his voice is beautiful. I'm not sure if you've heard him speak.
No,
He's like
I did see a lot of
the
comments of
deepest
that.
the deepest French accent you've ever heard in your life, and even for that reason, welcome to the club, mate. Do you know what I mean? But
Well, it's
no,
bringing
no,
it back to
it's
those French roots. We haven't had much French players. Arsenal used to always have a bunch of French players. Now we've just got Saliba. It's just Saliba right at the moment. I'm pretty sure that's it, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it would be.
yeah.
I'm trying to think now.
I don't think so.
Centre backs, yeah, no, Mascara is
Yeah,
Spanish, yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah, bringing back all the French boys. Why not? Why
yeah.
not?
Come on, righto.
Um,
Class.
but yeah, I guess for us, yeah, I'm excited to see where this transfer window goes. And
Yep.
still early days. World Cup's still happening, and obviously we hope England go and win it. It could be coming home.
Is it
And
coming home? Is it coming home? I asked you last time, but what do you think now?
I'm still
Oh,
going
George.
no. I don't think it
Oh,
is.
you got to back him. Come on.
I don't. I just yeah. The proof tells me otherwise. But I'll have a better idea after Thursday, I reckon.
Who would you want in the
Such
final?
a on the fence.
France or
Spain.
Spain? Okay, I
Spain.
thought you'd say
Yeah.
that. I think in a
Yeah, I
one-off
prefer
game.
Spain.
Yeah, of course. I think in a one-off game it can go either way. I'd just like as an English fan, I'd just be worried playing Spain because he played them last time. But to be fair, it was a very close game. France is, mate. If Australia were playing France, I'd be like shitting myself. Like that would be so
Nah,
so
and
scary.
if
But
and if I was Australian, I would also be shitting myself too, mate. But
yeah, look, it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I'm so keen for it. Just one last question before we wrap up. Golden Boot, who do you reckon will win it? Mbappe on 8, Messi on 8, Harry Kane still there on 6, Jude on 6. Who do you reckon will finish on top?
Mbappe.
Okay. All right. Yep. I can see Mbappe doing that as well. Obviously, Messi. If Messi scored 2 in the last game against Switzerland, I think it would be done. But it's even now. This is probably the best Golden Boot race we've seen at a World Cup as well. It's absolutely incredible. Great scenes. I'm loving this World Cup a lot. But that's all we have time for today. We'll come back after the semi-finals. Hopefully England is still in it and George has a massive smile on his face. I'm so keen for it. Wednesday 5 a.m., Thursday 5 a.m. with the semi-finals. And yeah, I hope you have a good day, Gooners, and enjoy the World Cup.
That's it. Hope you all have a good day. And guys, before we really end off, it's the road to 500. We
Oh
are
yes, of
very, very
course.
close to getting 500 subscribers on YouTube. So that is a massive deal, obviously, for both of us. This was literally just an idea in the pipeline like a year and a half ago. But now, we've grown to a spot where nearly 500, I can't even speak, nearly 500 subscribers. So thank you so much for the continued support. Keep on obviously liking, commenting, sharing. It only helps the algorithm to come around more on your screens. And I think same goes for TikTok. I think we're near the 500 mark on TikTok.
Close
as
600,
well.
600, almost 600 on TikTok, actually.
There you go.
Nice,
So almost 600 on TikTok, almost 500 on YouTube. So get us to 500. Sorry, get us to 500. It is the road to 500. We are very much on it. Get us to 500, and then once we get there, obviously we'll do a Q&A for you as a little prize. So get yourself there. Like, subscribe, share. Get us to 500. We really appreciate all the support, and hope you all have a great day, Gooners.
Have a good day, Gooners. Enjoy.